Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have a video for you that shows off the worst driving I have seen on GT7 in a very long time. As you see on this first race, we are starting in pole with our qualifying lap that we put in, and hopefully we are able to get a decent result. But I'm going to tell you this right now, from this person that goes by the name of Sophia, completely just ruined this whole race, not only for me but for multiple people, and just downright annoying and frustrating. But anyways, going through the first sector, doing pretty good to extend that gap to P2, hopefully gonna hold on to P1 on this opening lap, braking just after the 100-meter board, getting a little bit wide through the first set of S's. I had a little bit of trouble trying to get the best of line through those corners on this one race, but as I practice more, I did get a better line and really enjoyed this daily race C. Again, just trying to close the gap, or not close the gap, my apologies, extend the gap to the guy in P2. But as you will look on the left-hand side at the driver board, just keep an eye out over there. See if you can start seeing Sophia pop up into P8, 7, 6, and then all the way into P, I believe it was 3 or 4. Again, just trying to take a nice and easy line through this first lap. It looks like we are extending the gap at least over a second. Hopefully we're able to extend it even more. That way we can damage limitation, run a little bit wide. Didn't want to get on the power too early and completely spin out the car, especially on that green AstroTurf. It is very likely to do that, and it's not fun. It's very frustrating. But overall, like I said before, I really enjoyed this daily race. It was Group 3 cars around the good old Spa-Francorchamps with 8 laps and 7 times tire wear, I believe, which made it very interesting, very fun, especially near the end when the tires just started to completely fall off. Not getting the best of exits out of there, but it looks like the guy in second place had a lot worse of an exit than I did. Heading into the turn 1 hairpin, all the way down, going into El Rouge and Redion, or I guess it would be Redion and then El Rouge, I think. Don't hold me to that. Anyways, back to the action. Trying to get a good exit through this very high-speed corners up the hill, abusing the track limits as much as possible without getting a penalty. It's very important to get a good line through that. That way you get a very good exit and run down this Kimball straight. Again, braking just after the 100-meter board, if I can speak correctly. And doing a little bit of a set rep again on middle of lap 2. Looks like we are still holding on to P1 by a little over a second. Looking over to the left hand side, you can see that Sophia has moved up into P7. They were very rapid this race because they were on the mediums, which they could have done, but you had to run the hards, which a lot of people did. And unfortunately, this is where my race is really going to unravel. I come into Pouan just too hot, get on the power a little too early, dip a few tires on the AstroTurf, and it sends my car off to the left hand, losing the lead, but still within P2, so still within a shot of P1, but from there on it just went downhill. Tires are definitely dirty from being off track, have to deal with that, so on and so forth. But yes, going back to the Sophia thing, didn't have to run the mediums. You could have done a no stop on the hards. Big snaps of oversteer and understeer through that last corner, just getting it all wrong with the dirty tires, and we are going to lose another position to, looks like, I'm not even going to pronounce that because I know I'm going to butcher it. But at the end of lap 2, we ended up in P3. Unfortunate mistakes. Could have easily drove off into the distance if I was just a little bit more consistent. Looking over to the left-hand side, looks like Sophia moved up into P6, so they are very rapid, like I said before. Possibly looking for an overtake on our end. Looks like the guy in front of me got a bad exit. Going into turn 1, late on the brakes, hit the apex first, goes a little bit wide. He shoots it up on the inside, a little bit of contact, but no harm, no foul. And we are going to stick behind him to get a better run through El Rouge and Radion onto the Kimball Straight. Just trying to stick in within his slipstream as much as possible, but yet not overshoot it and peak too early. Again, sit rep again on Sophia. NP6 started way out. I think it started like 13th or something like that. But with on the mediums, they are definitely a lot faster. As you could see later on in the race, they are going to be posting like a 2-minute and like 18-second lap time. So clearly visible that they were on the mediums. Possibly looking into an overtake into No Name, trying to get a better exit into Pouan. And not the best of exit, went a little bit slow, could have carried a little bit more speed. Just trying to stick in within the slipstream and possibly even look for an overtake into the last sector. Dirty Air had to not get on gas as soon as I really wanted to. Wish I could have gotten a little bit better, but no harm, no foul, no mistakes. At least this time around. As we were coming into the final sector of lap 3, maybe going to be looking for an overtake into the bus stop chicane if I get a good exit out of these last few corners, as well as stick within the slipstream, if I can speak correctly. A little update on Sophia. They just hopped up into P5, so they are gaining ever so slightly, and there's going to become a time where the worst driving I've seen on GT7 in a long time happens. Not really looking for an overtake, and didn't get the best of runs through the last few corners into the bus stop. Looks like the guy in second went a little slow. He started to ghost, which I found very weird. So hopefully I can set up a move into the Kimball Straight like I wanted to do beforehand, right up on his rear end into the first corner hairpin. A little snap of oversteer, got on the power just a little too early, which is definitely going to cost us down this Kimball Straight, into El Radion and El Rouge. If I could, again, speak English. That's the only language I know. But back to the action, taking the best line possible, definitely abusing those track limits. Don't want to get a 0.5 penalty, which is very easily to do if you get the line drawn all throughout that Kimball, or why do I want to keep saying Kimball Straight? Through El Rouge and Radion. And it looks like Sophia jumped back up into, it looks like they were fighting for P4, but unfortunately they are going to be getting P4. Guy in front goes a little bit wide through that corner, puts him on the back foot. Hopefully we are able to get another, or fight for the position, possibly get a place, hopefully able to track down first place as well. Not too far away, looks like just over 3 seconds. Looking for a move into Pouan. Half-hearted move, a little bit there, but I got on the power a little bit earlier than he was, and I'm able to sneak up on the inside. Pretty decent move. I'm pretty happy with that move. Running just a little bit wide through that corner, but able to get to the apex before he was able to, and hold on, go up a position to P2. Coming into the last sector on lap 4, hopefully getting a better exit than the guy behind to hold him off into the bus stop chicane, and also get a better exit out of the bus stop onto the, main straight, I guess, into turn 1, and hopefully able to defend as much as possible. Maybe even hunt down P1. Not that far ahead. With me being on pole, I know I am the fastest man in the lobby, and hopefully I'm able to carry that to possibly hunt down P1. Taking a look over on the left-hand side, as you can see, Sophia is putting in the fastest laps of the race. It is a 2-minute 20-second, and I think at the end of the race, their fastest lap was like a 2:18 or something like that, like I said before, but not getting the best of exits out of the first corner. Gonna try and break the toe as much as possible down this Kimball straight, and hopefully able to hold off P3 as much as possible. Taking that nice and early apex, making sure we keep 2 tires on the inside, what is that called? Curb. There you go, that's the word. And definitely not able to get or pick up a penalty with that, so all good. No party, no harm, no foul. Why can I not speak English? Anyways, we are looking to possibly gain on P1. Looks like they were making just a little bit mistakes here and there. Mistakes are starting to creep in. As you can see, he had a big snap of oversteer right there. Hopefully able to make up as much time as possible, and by the end of it, fight for P1. Coming into P1, just trying to take a nice and easy line. Don't want to go too wide. Unfortunately, I did, which I'm going to be on the back foot because I was not able to get on the power as much as possible, because you do not want to put the power down when you're have tires on the green AstroTurf. It will spin you out, and you will be going right on a left-hander, and no one wants that. Big moment right there, like I just said, the AstroTurf. Luckily, I was able to catch it, and I lost a little bit of time, but nothing too major. Didn't have a big mistake, just little mistakes here and there. We are already halfway through this race, and so far it's been a pretty good race. Other than those few mistakes, had a pretty good pass on the guy that is in P3 right now. So yeah, hopefully we are able to hold them off as much as possible, but yet also take the fight to P1. As we come out of the bus stop chicane for the 5th time onto lap 6, hopefully able to defend and get a better exit out of this first corner. Getting a pretty good exit, a big snap of oversteer from the guy ahead. Just gonna put him off, and it looks like, unfortunately, Sophia has struck again. They have made some contact with the guy that is in P4 now, and now is when it gets pretty intense. By the end of the lap, you're gonna see something absolutely horrific, but I won't spoil it. Anyways, as you can see, Sophia set a pretty fast lap, so I knew right then and there that they were on the mediums, and they're gonna be very, very fast, but yet they would still get that penalty if they did not pit. But not really trying to focus on that right now. I'm just trying to focus on P1, trying to minimize the time loss as much as possible, maybe even close up on him and look for a overtake opportunity. Overtalk. That's my new app I'm gonna be putting out, Overtalk. But anyways, coming into P1, tire wear is really starting to kick in, running the car all the way out to the edge of the track as much as possible to keep the speed up. But it looks like we made it through P1 safely this time. Getting a little bit of time on P1. Big snap of oversteer again. He's definitely struggling with tire wear, and I found out that the GTR is a little bit worse of tire wear than the Supra, which is definitely in my favor. But going down the back straight into the bus stop chicane, the most disgusting play ever is going to be put on display. I'm going to be spotting my braking point, the first board on the left-hand side, and out of nowhere, completely dive bombs me, pushes me off, spins me out, and I lose 2 positions. Fortunately, they did get a penalty, but what an absolute filthy move. Disgusting move. And I went back in the replay, and they didn't brake until like 100 meters before the bus stop, and just completely had no care in the world. And yeah, just out of nowhere, I spotted my braking point, took in the bus stop pretty decently, and then just completely punted out of the way. And with dirty tires and frustration from that punt, I ran wide and unfortunately got a 0.5 second penalty. Not the best of times. Definitely could have been done things a little bit differently, especially through El Rouge and Radeon. And taking these corners, not the best with, again, dirty tires and definitely frustration from what just happened at the bus stop chicane. But going to be trying to look forward, possibly going to be looking for a move in the dying laps of the race. But with this 0.5 second penalty, it's going to be very difficult. I've passed this guy before, so I know I can do it again. But with that penalty, it's going to be very, very difficult. Hopefully I can get a podium out of this race. But it looks like the guy in third place runs really wide onto the AstroTurf, but luckily he was able to hold on to it and not really spin out or lose any time. But as you can see at the bottom left, the tire wear is definitely starting to kick in for our hard tires. Definitely be losing a lot of, not a lot of time, but a decent amount of time with just oversteer and trying to get the power down as soon as possible. Trying to get a good exit out of this corner, but it's not really going to amount to anything since, I did have that penalty. But as you can see ahead, Sofia, they actually had a penalty from, punting me wide for no reason. So hopefully, right now, what I decided was I was going to hunt Sofia down and see, again, just not a care in the world and just completely dive bombs the guy in P2 and pushes him off the track, which is going to force him back because the game's like, oh, you're going too fast, you're going to cut the corner, and he loses all of his momentum. Just the worst driving I've seen in a long, long time. And I even called them out in the lobby. I'm like, why are you so dirty? What is your deal? And they were just like, yep, Sofia's dirty. And I don't know, maybe just trying to get under my skin, but it worked because that was just stupid racing. Anyways, trying to get a good run on the Kimball Straight, maybe looking for an overtake opportunity into this corner. We're going to pull out of the slipstream, spot our braking point, trying to go around the outside. Not really going to work out since they are on the mediums, the superior tire, even though their tire wear is a lot worse than ours is. Looks like I didn't get the best of exits out of that corner, losing a bunch of time. But hopefully I'm able to, keep up with Sofia and maybe be able to pass them within the last few corners. Coming through Poulan again for the final time in this race. Getting a good run, and right then and there I knew that they were definitely on the mediums because they were able to carry so much more speed through Poulan. It was absurd. And it looks like he actually ran a little bit wide on the exit and got himself a 0.5 second penalty and then ran wide right there as well. So we are going to be able to go in front of him since he's going to have to serve this penalty and hopefully, get that P2. Staying within the slipstream as much as possible, go on to the inside. I kind of just bullied him off right there. I was not having it, and I knew he was going to dive bomb me again because he did it before. So what I am going to do is I'm going to spot my braking point, and then I'm going to brake as hard as possible, try to get the switchback, bait him. Got a big snap of oversteer, and it is just contact galore. I lose my composure. I try to spin him. I end up spinning myself out. Looking back at it now, I should have just let him deal or go in front of me because he had the 1 second penalty without pitting. So I easily could have gotten a second place, and I was getting so upset and frustrated with him that I lost composure, control, and not my greatest moment. But hopefully we are able to get him back in the next race because, as you will see into the lobby of the second race, I am actually on pole again, and then Sofia is right behind me. So going into the race, I knew it was going to be a very difficult race and not having the best of times. As we were 5 lights out and running, I look behind, and Sophia just completely obliterates everyone behind them. Like, no care in the world, just carnage everywhere. So much contact and just putting everyone off, and frustrating. It really is. Like, I wish there was a report option on GT7, that way I could report them for like dirty driving, so on and so forth. Jumping forward a little bit into lap 1, not had the best opening lap. As you can see, a guy in second place actually caught up to me a lot. Come to find out, he was on the hards, so if he passed me, it would have been outright. And yeah, trying to break the toe as much as possible, but it looks like he's going to be sticking behind me just a little bit. A little love tap right there, just trying a little bump draft, coming into the bus stop chicane, possibly going to be looking for an overtake, going a little bit defensive, hit the apex first, and then carry the speed as much as possible, not getting the best of exits, definitely bogged down, and puts us on the back foot for the first straight. But as we head into turn 1, I'm going to try to get a good exit onto Rayon and El Rouge, try to get the power down as soon as possible, carry the speed as much as possible, because I know I'm going to be defenseless on the Kimball straight within the slipstream. But as we are going through Rayon and El Rouge, I'm going to take a look behind, and unfortunately the guy in P2 just within the dirty air gets on the AstroTurf, and he is turning left down a straight. Jumping forward to about the end of, or the last sector of lap 2, as you can see, Sophia is right behind me. Again, they were on the mediums, so I knew that they were going to get a penalty no matter what happened. So I was going to try my best to not fight with them. Just, you know, if they were going to pass me, so be it, because I knew that even if they pit, or even if they didn't pit, I would still end up in front of them. Got a little bump from behind, you know, which sent me a little bit wide, but at this point I'm like, you know what, he's gonna pass me, he's on the mediums, he's so much faster than me, so why put up a fight? You know, he's gonna either have to pit, which I'm gonna be right in front of him again, or there's gonna be a penalty at the end, which is gonna send him pretty much all the way to the back of the grid. So really no major point in fighting, but I didn't want it to be easy for him, because I didn't. After what happened last race, I was still very heated and upset, and just really not in the mood to deal with his shenanigans. Getting pretty good exit onto the Kimball straight. Spotter braking point. Surprisingly, I thought he was gonna push me off. I thought he was gonna dive bomb me or rear end me or something, but luckily he didn't. Maybe he wised up just a little bit, but not the best of times. Got a little bit of contact right there, which sent me a little bit wide, again pushing me absolutely through that corner into No Name, trying to get a good exit, relatively decent exit. As you can see on the mediums, he got a lot better of an exit. So at this point, I just backed off, and I'm like, you know what, go ahead. There's no point in fighting, because I'm just gonna be losing more time, and you were, yeah, pretty much irrelevant in my race. So sticking to my race. Jumping forward to the middle of lap 6, Karma is a bitch, and Karma comes back. Coming through these few corners, Sophia gets it all wrong, spins out, smashes into the wall, going left on a straight. And luckily, we are going to have the last laugh, because we are going to be coming through the last sector onto lap 7 with no one in front of me, and that is going to take us all the way to the end of the race, where I'm going to come home in a very, very comfortable lead of at least 15 seconds. So at the end of the day, I did get my revenge. I could have gotten a better job done in the first race, but you live and you learn. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.